Well, as you know, this is part 2, so I'm going to continue from this Chinese herb doctor. Oh, I'm finished with that. I'm going on to something else. Oh, a dear girlfriend of mine, she had a hysterectomy. And after I told her what I had gone through and what I was going through, and after my situation with the fibroid tumors had shrunk, she really felt pretty bad that she didn't do the same thing that I did. So she wrote me a letter. She said, removing my uterus also removed my joy spot, and I can no longer have vaginal orgasms. The spot that my husband used to be able to tap on to is gone. That was my joy spot. It was the opening mouth of my uterus. Questioning, she got a question mark. That the tip of his penis would tap on and bring me to the most elevating, levitating, overwhelming sensation that can only be described as a total out-of-body intense orgasm. I had every experience in life that I've ever experienced in life. When I told the doctor, she laughed and she didn't believe me. I've never gone back to see her and to get my pap smear test done at my primary doctor. The fibroid wasn't malignant. I wish I had gotten a biopsy and not removed the fibroid, but it was huge, big as an apple, and it was growing and it hurt, not bleeding, just pain. But the pleasure of orgasm was so wonderful that if I knew I'd lose my joy that my husband could give me, I would have kept the fibroid. I can only reach orgasms through clitoral stimulation, but it's not as fulfilling as the internal ecstasy I used to enjoy with my husband. I wish I never got it removed and found a natural way to shrink it, or just waited till after menopause to see if it would shrink on its own. Now I don't even know when or if I'm having menopause, because I have no uterus and my periods were stopped unnaturally. I think I still have ovaries, but who knows? I had the doctor take a picture of it, and it was like a big ball, and she just cut it, and the inside looked like chicken fat. How's that? This is a letter I got from Sisterly Love. Here's something else I just want to read from one of my journals. These are journals that I kept when I was going through my mess. I don't even know why I kept journals, but I did. It seemed to me that I had to write this stuff down for one reason or another. I wanted someone to talk to, and the only thing I felt that I could talk to was my journal. Even though I had been married twice, I never had a person who really cared enough about me to tell all of this stuff to. So I wrote in my journals for relief. I never ever thought that I would be telling someone anything that I had ever written in my journals. I guess if I would have died, my family would have known what I had gone through. I put these in my book to let people know how sick I was. I also wanted people to know how fibroids could get. I also wanted people to know how bad fibroids could get. They are nothing to play with, and they almost ran me nuts. Here's I went into a study. As I told you, I've done a lot of things trying to get rid of fibroid tumors before I actually got rid of them. And again, let me show you again what I did. I used progesterone cream to shrink fibroid tumors. This is the jar that I used originally. I still keep this because they were selling this for years and years and years, but I still keep this jar of progesterone cream. This is the new label that it has, but it's the same cream. The product number is 8547, just in case you might want to try it. So I used this cream for at least 4 months, and it shrunk the fibroids. But I would say to anybody that's estrogen dominant, continue to use the cream. Not that the fibroids might come back, but just continue to use the cream, because as long as you're on this planet, you will probably be estrogen dominant because of the air that we breathe and the air that we live in. I mean, progesterone in our bodies don't stand a chance with the toxins and stuff that's in the air today. So it actually rids women of their progesterone. and so you have to replace it. I use a lot of times, I use an example. Let me show you what I did before I go into something else. This is all I use, very little bit. Put it in the palm of my hand and do like this. Just rub it in real good, rub it in real good. I did that twice a day, rubbed it in for about 4 months or whatever before. When I went back to the doctor, he said he noticed that the change that the fibroids had gone. So I just want to tell you what I did and how I did it. Hopefully you'll try the same thing, but I can't stress the point enough. You must be patient and you must stick to it. If you don't feel no relief or feel them going in like 30 days, keep using the cream. Keep using the cream because the cream will diminish them. It's up to you if you really want to get rid of them. I'm not a doctor, but I have been doing this and telling people this for years, and it has been working. So I thank God for YouTube, and I thank God for you because I know without you, I will not be able to express myself and tell somebody about this experience and what to do and how they can fix it for themselves and how they can make things work for themselves. I'm reading this here. Like I was saying, I went to a study. I'm just going through all the things, like I said, that I went through to try to get rid of fibroid tumors before I came into the cream. It says, boy oh boy, I began taking this nasal spray. When I sprayed it up my nose, I felt the spray enter my nostril. It says it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I began tasting the medicine at the back of my throat. It was nasty, very nasty. I felt a little tired, but I didn't know if that was because of the medicine or lack of sleep that I had the night before. I would wait like 40 minutes and shoot this up my nose in the clinic. And the clinic would draw blood to see, I guess, whatever was going on with my blood after I inhaled this nasal spray. Well, while waiting for the 20 minutes, I would fill out a questionnaire. I felt good enough to take 2 buses back home. It was about time for me to get off the second bus, and I felt the urge to close my eyes for a minute because I had gotten tired while I was on the bus ride. For some reason, it seemed like to me the nasal spray would make me tired. This is one of those type of studies that where they're supposed to pay you at the end of the study. Well, I forget how many months I went through this, but I went through it for months. I know it was months and months and months, maybe about 5 months, 6 months, and it was supposed to shrink the fibroids, but of course it didn't. And they were supposed to pay me X amount of dollars, but I never did get paid, and I never did get healed from the fibroid tumors with that study. Here's some more. This is some more literature that I have on the study. I don't need to read that. I do want to tell you, though, I used to go back and forth to the emergency room many times. I would look. I was in and out of the emergency room. I have a bill from Einstein for $160. Even though these are paid, I'm just going over what what I did. I have another bill here from Einstein, $1,800. $1,862.25. I have another bill here for $267. And this is just some more papers that I have from in and out of the emergency room. I just want to read this. I had some more. Here's a paper that I used to go to this place called the Greenhouse Internist. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's in Mount Airy, Philadelphia. And this particular doctor, she would watch my hemoglobin. And my hemoglobin on this page is like 10.5. It says, this is still slightly low, and it says stay on the iron. She would give me iron pills. Here's another paper that says it's still getting lower. It says now it's down to 9.1. It says your blood count is somewhat lower than before. She suggested I continue to take the iron pills. Well, to make a long story short, it went down to like 4 point or 5 point something. And then I had to go into the hospital and get 2 units of blood. And that hospital bill was This is the hospital bill. This hospital bill was for $17,199.40 for the hospital bill. I stayed for 5 days, and in that 5 days they gave me the uterine artery embolization that did not work either. So, and then they gave me 2 units of blood when I came out of that. Now the uterine artery embolization, it seemed to work for like maybe a month. It never stopped me from bleeding totally, but it was like the blood just kind of sort of changed colors. It just got pinker. It got pink instead of being red anymore. So it just, and then next thing you know, I started bleeding just as bad as I was before I went into the hospital and had it done. What is this? Oh, also I used to sit in yarrow. I read in a health book that yarrow herbs, it actually shrunk tumors. So I figured, oh well, I'll try this too. I was just trying everything, trying to get better from fibroid tumors. I just want to read you some things about in the beginning of my the fibroid tumor situation. The gynecologist began telling me that I had fibroid tumors when I was in my early 30s. I had my second and last child at the tender age of 27. There were no signs of fibroid tumors then. So what happened in my early 30s, I don't even know. I went to the gynecologist's office for my routine checkup. I've always kept my appointments. Many women just do many women don't take routine checkups seriously. But I always did. I just always felt like that was something in life that I needed to do. The doctor examined me, and he noticed that when he examined me that I had a fibroid tumor. He explained to me that fibroid tumors was common in women, and begged me not to worry about it. So after this visit, I never gave it any attention at all, the visit or the tumors. I also remember him telling me that they weren't cancerous, so there was no need to really worry about it, and my life went on. So I would continue to go on with my visits to the gynecologist as I always have. 6 months would go by, then it would be time for another checkup. Again, I would hear about this fibroid tumor, but never paid it too much attention. This time, the gynecologist would tell me that it was the size of a lemon. So I would say to myself, oh, that's not that large. And at the age of 36, I had a tubal ligation. Of course, after the operation, they send you home these days. But that was even back in the day, like I guess about 12 or 13 years ago, whenever I had the tubal ligation, they sent me, it was like a 1-day procedure. I felt very sick after this, and I had to get myself together with the aids of Alka-Seltzer and Tylenols. I scheduled my appointment to make sure that everything was still intact. The gynecologist explained to me how he had a time with the tubal ligation because of the fibroid tumors. All I wanted to know was, did he do the tubal ligation? Because I was not trying to have no more babies. So I was just more concerned about the tubal ligation than the fibroid tumors, because the doctor already told me if they're not bothering you, don't bother them. So I asked him again, did you do the tubal ligation? He said, yeah, he did it. So I said, okay. That was all that I was interested in at that time. He began to explain to me that these fibroid tumors were getting larger. They were large as grapefruits. I still didn't give this thing much attention. All I knew was that I had a tubal ligation, and I could get busy doing what I wanted to do with my husband. But I never forgot what he said. Okay, by this time, I'm knocking at the door of 40, hard. I was 38 years old and starting to enjoy myself, if you know what I mean. These tumors started to bleed every time I had intercourse. I called the gynecologist again and told him what was going on. He asked me if I could come in, and I told him that I could, because this bleeding was cramping my style. When I visited his office, he told me that he could shrink them. I felt that I should get a second opinion. The second opinion was worse than the first, because this doctor wanted to give me a partial hysterectomy. This was in 1990 when I first heard about removing the uterus. After all of this, I still never paid this fibroid tumor too much attention. So I hurried back to the first gynecologist to get the shrinking business started. Okay, I have to go with, to the next part because my time is running out again. Thanks again. Hope you come back and listen to the third part. Bye-bye.